Now then, the Houses of Parliament have got some new recruits. I know what you're thinking. The world doesn't need more politicians, surely. But rest assured, these are terrific additions.
Yes, because they come from a charity bringing people with Down syndrome together with employers. It's helped 6 people into work in Westminster. Now, only 6% of adults with learning disabilities in England were in paid jobs in 2019 to 2020, despite 2/3 wanting to work.
Well, joining us now is new recruit Amy, who is a catering assistant at the House of Parliament, and the Speaker of the House of Commons, Sir Lindsay Hoyle. Good morning to both of you. Great to have you with us.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Amy, thank you for getting up early and coming to talk to us. It's lovely to have you on the show this morning.
That's OK.
Tell us a little bit about the job that you do. Are you enjoying your new job?
I love it. I really enjoy greeting people, serving people their food and drink. I enjoyed the work. The team are very nice and getting to know a lot of people. And, yeah, love it.
And what about the politicians and the MPs that come into the area that you are? Do they behave? Are they nice to you, Amy?
They're still very, very nice.
Amy, you're working as a catering assistant there in the Houses of Parliament. What's your favourite part of the job?
My favourite part, I like doing the till and serving customers.
And of all the politicians that you have met so far, who are your best customers? And who would you like to serve that you haven't served so far?
I love to serve Keir Starmer, Rishi Sunak, David Cameron and Sadiq Khan.
Ah, OK. All the top dogs then, the high-profile politicians, the Prime Minister, Leader of the Opposition.
Foreign Secretary and the Mayor of London.
They have heard. So, Lindsay,
Yes.
it's lovely to have you both on the show this morning. Tell us a little bit about this programme that has enabled Amy and some of her colleagues to come and join you in the House of Parliament.
It's an amazing programme. This is about bringing people into work. People who I believe have been badly used in the past, where you're on a permanent training programme, never getting paid. This is about people coming into work and being paid for the job they do. And that's why I'm so pleased that Amy came to the House, coming onto the scheme and making a real difference. And that's what it's about. It's about that difference that Amy makes. And I'm just so lucky that I'm here this morning. I've got a nice cup of tea and what a wonderful friendly face. Somebody's chatting away to me. This is absolutely brilliant. And I've got to say, this is the start, not the end. And when Wes, who's running the scheme, put it all together, what a difference it's made. And we can be proud as employers. We can be proud that we needed people to come and work in the House. And as I say, Amy's making that difference. And the problem that we have is that people want to use people and not pay them. We are on the right road. I said to other employers, please, copy what we're doing. Amy makes the difference to House of Commons. Like she said, she's on the till, making a wonderful cup of tea this morning. I've got to thank her for what she's doing. Thanking her and her colleagues to come and work in the House. As I say, this is making a difference. And there's nothing better than having somebody, a happy, smiling face. And Amy's certainly got that.
Well, it's such a positive scheme, isn't it? Amy, what would you say to perhaps people with learning disabilities who might want to do what you're doing? What advice would you give them?
I'd give them the advice to go for it. Contact workfit.com and you'll find the job of your dreams.
You're bang on brand as well, Amy. I think it's brilliant. I tell you what, before we finish the interview, you need to ask Sir Lindsay for a pay rise as well. I have a feeling you might get one of those this morning too.
Definitely.
Do you know what? It's such a positive story.
It really is.
So, Lindsay, I do want to ask you this morning about this story, which is on the front of the Daily Mail, because, unfortunately, I mean, while Amy is doing a fantastic job there as a catering assistant, work in politics seems to be getting harder, doesn't it? Because we have this news, a veteran minister quitting. He's the Justice Minister, Mike Freer, who's told Rishi Sunak he's going to step down at the election because of a string of threats. what can we do to make sure that our politicians are not doing their job under the threat of violence?
It really is an issue, isn't it? You know, democracy is what we believe in, and people don't share our values, want to attack us, want to ensure that we don't carry out that job. It is the threats that are continuous. I'm very saddened by the news that Mike Free is stepping down. You know, on the fact that Christmas Eve, 10 to 11, I was dealing with the issue of his office that had had the arson attack. Christmas Day, I was dealing with it with our security. These are things that are ongoing, things that politicians want to do the right thing by their constituents, by the country, but we have others who all the time are trying to stop people carrying out the job they're elected to do. It's not acceptable. I will do whatever I can as Speaker, working with the security, working with the police, working with ministers to ensure that members are safe, their families are safe, their officers are safe. And that's the big challenge at the moment. It really is a threat. And I've got to say, social media can be wonderful, but it can be a horrible thing as well. As I say, we all get death threats, but Mike really has been targeted. And thankfully, he's here to tell the story.
Yeah.
But I'm really saddened that he's felt he had to stand down.
So, Lindsay, even that phrase that you just said there seems extraordinary. We all get death threats. I mean, that is remarkable in this day and age for the job that you're doing. Horrendous for us to hear, for our viewers to hear this morning. And yet, as you say, you've just dropped it into conversation like it's a very normal thing. I mean, to alter the opportunity for the security for those other MPs and their families, that's going to take resource, and it's something that we know the government is desperately short of right now. So how are we going to address it in a way that stops it being normalised, whereby it's just dropped into conversation that we all face death threats?
What I wouldn't do is go into the measures that we have in place. Obviously, we wouldn't discuss the detail of security. What I can tell you is this has been an ongoing programme. Our head of security has worked very closely. We've worked very closely with companies. We work with every police force in the country. We make sure that we do what we think is the right. We never stop reviewing and looking at what else we can do. You know, the fact that MPs have these threats is totally unacceptable. You know, death threats come along. I had one on Friday, someone who was arrested. That's the kind of issue that's ongoing. Now, while it's me, it's not acceptable, but it's less acceptable for others. And it's usually women MPs that are targeted. And ethnic minority MPs are also targeted. Those are the areas around that we've got to look very carefully at. What I would say is we have a lot of measures in place. We continually look at that, but we work with every police force in the country to try and ensure the security. And, of course, it isn't just the MPs. It is the staff within the office, within constituencies, that also have to put up with threats. And families are also vulnerable. So it's a big issue, but nothing must stand in the way of ensuring the democratic process continues. And I've got to make sure that people are willing to stand up and be elected. And if we lose that, we have lost everything. So it is a battle. It's a battle we will not lose. I've got to say, we've lost 2 MPs recently. You know, Joe Cox and David Amis. I don't want to receive any more of those phone calls. These were colleagues. And what we do say is we all stand united across all political parties. We believe in democracy. We believe in challenging those who will not support democracy. They're the ones that don't believe in our values. They're the ones that want to disrupt. They will never win, but I will do everything I can to ensure that members of Parliament, their families and staff are protected.
So, Lindsay Hoyle, it doesn't surprise me that you are Speaker of the House. You speak so powerfully. I am sorry for what you've experienced yourself, and it is dreadful that all MPs are in that situation. Thank you so much for joining us this morning and for being part of this incredible scheme. And thank you to Amy as well, who's clearly loving her job. You're loving your job, Amy, and putting a smile on everyone's face, clearly, at that till. Just Amy, lifting people's spirits.
Amy, what time does your shift finish today? You're going to get to finish a little bit early because Sir Lindsay dragged you in so early.
I basically actually work Monday and Wednesday, but I'm here on live TV.
Well, I think I have to pay overtime now.
On your day off, you need some overtime, so Lindsay, tick that overtime sheet on all of our behalves. Lovely to meet you this morning, Amy. Thank you for doing a brilliant job, and to everybody there as well. And to Lindsay, thank you for joining us this morning as well.
Thank you.
Fantastic stuff. Thank you.
What a fantastic scheme.
Isn't it just?
Yep.
And as we were saying, you know, 2/3 of people with learning disabilities want to work, but only a tiny proportion do. And Amy's absolutely flying the flag. You know, she's loving her job.
You can see
Come
how
join
important
her.
it is. Yeah, you're right.